Hello, Dr. Michael Norman, Key West Spine and Injury, Key West's largest auto injury rehab clinic. Here today with our coronavirus update. We're happy to announce we have a new layer to our screening process because we finally this morning got delivery on our infrared digital thermometer. So very simply, you just go about 2 to 6 inches from your forehead, squeeze the trigger, and there is your temperature. So that is now going to be step one when you come into the clinic. We're going to take your temperature. If you have a fever, unfortunately, you will be denied entrance. That is going to be our first screening. And just as a side note, I did a little research. There's over 200 viruses that cause the common cold. Mainly rhinoviruses, some coronaviruses actually cause the common cold. There's an average of 4 to 6 common colds per American per year. The average length about 7 days. So you do the math real quick and you realize if you have a fever, the multitude more likelihood is that you have a common cold. But in this time, during this pandemic, unfortunately, we're going to err on the side of caution. If you have a fever, you will be denied care. So that is screening process number one. Next step number two is we're going to ask from a historical standpoint if you've had a travel outside the country in the last 14 days, been on a cruise ship in the last 14 days, you've been in contact with someone that's been diagnosed or is currently been investigated and diagnosed with COVID-19, with the coronavirus. Any of those four, and we're going to deny care for at least 14 days until that time has lapsed. And that is, of course, due to the fact of the incubation period of the coronavirus. The final step is we're going to do a symptom review. We're going to ask you again the 4 big symptoms of coronavirus that you've had in the last few days: of fever, cough, sore throat, or difficulty breathing. Any of those 4, not only will you be denied entrance to the clinic, but in that case, we're going to insist that you get checked up and evaluated by your PCP, your primary care physician. We are in constant contact. A lot of our patients don't realize this, but we share our records for continuity of care. So your family doctor knows what's going on with you. So we already share our records. So we're already familiar. We've got their fax numbers, their phone numbers. We'll get a hold of them and we'll make sure that you get evaluated. If you don't have one, we'll make sure you get hooked up with one of the urgent care centers here in town. So that's the process to get in the clinic. Once you're in the clinic, we've got a lot of other precautions. We, of course, are wearing masks. Myself and the staff, we want to take care of ourselves. It goes back to the old thing you see on the airplanes when they always talk about the review before the air flight. They talk about, if the air mask comes down, the oxygen mask comes down, make sure you put it on yourself first before you help your kids and your family members. It's the same concept here. We want to make sure that we stay healthy so we can best serve you. So we're always going to be wearing masks. The second thing is when you walk in the door is we're going to give you some hand sanitizer. And we've got a video we're going to show you, which you're going to learn how to do the proper, right from the CDC. There's a process where you go through these directions and there's this whole thing here. So this whole little process, the video, follow along with the video so make sure you get your hands properly sanitized. Then everything you touch when you leave is going to be disinfected. So before you come in, everything's been disinfected, and when you leave, everything's going to be disinfected. I was very happy. I had a great opportunity yesterday to spend probably a good 30 minutes with Dr. Jack Norris, the the chief of staff at the Lower Keys Medical Center, and I talked to him extensively yesterday, and I was very happy to find out that everything we were doing, I explained all we do, and he said that, yeah, you're doing everything right. And so I was really glad we are following the CDC guidelines properly, and so we got confirmation that everything is good. So we really feel confident we can safely take care of you. Along those lines, I had another story I wanted to share with you. I had a doctor of mine, he's not in our community, but out of the area, but he was just referred a new patient today from an attorney, and he said that the attorney asked if he was open. He said, yes, we're open, we're following the guidelines, we're doing et cetera, et cetera. And he said that, well, because the patient had gone from the scene of the crash, it was a car crash, went to the emergency department, and then the emergency department denied him care, did not allow the car crash victim in, and so that's why the attorney then referred him over to my friend, another chiropractor. And so I just wanted to let you know this was not, to be clear, this was not Lower Keys Medical Center emergency department, but that's my concern, and that hopefully doesn't get to that point, but that's what we're dealing with here, is we see our mission, our role in this big pandemic is to lower the burden. And so if we can take the burden off Dr. Norris, if we can take it off the urgent care centers, off our emergency department, and let us do what we do, we can take care of the bicycle crashes, the scooters, the motorcycle, car crashes, even not just the crashes, but the other spine traumas. If you've fallen off a ladder, tripped down your stairs, that's what we do. We have full x-ray facilities. We can help you, and we really feel committed to our community that we can provide that service and lower the burden on all the other doctors in their big fight against this COVID-19, the coronavirus. So that's our role in this, and we feel very committed to taking care of ourselves, keeping ourselves healthy, keeping everything exactly like it's supposed to be here, so we can do our job and help the community in that way and take the burden off them. If you have any questions, again, this is Facebook Live, but we will post it here shortly on Facebook page. So go ahead, and if you have a question, post that, and we'll make sure to answer and get back to you. And as they always say, of course, like, comment, and share. And any other questions? Before I go, the last thing is real important. Again, we want to keep emphasizing this. A big part of the talk I had yesterday with Dr. Jack Norris was the old flatten the curve. And so I just want to encourage everybody in this time, continue, stay at home, minimum travel. Obviously, if you're in pain and suffering, again, that's why we're open. We're going to expect you to stay home and suffer. Of course, you can come to the doctor, but minimize your social contact, the 6 feet. We just want to, again, reiterate that. Do everything we need. Keep up the good work you're doing for the community. Again, any questions? Last thing I'll do is I'll leave our phone number. If you have been in injury or hurting, again, we're open in a safe manner. But give us a call, 305-453-6610, and we can get you scheduled. Again, everybody be safe out there. Talk to you soon. Dr. Michael Norman, Key West Spine and Injury, Key West's largest auto injury rehab clinic.